Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship review and reaction. Round 9. It's one of them lovely 3-game weeks. So, yes, here we go. And the first round is all done. And of course, we have to deal with everything straight away on the Sunday night. So, see if you can keep in touch with us all week. So first up, we've got to talk about round 9, which, as I say, all transpired yesterday and Friday night, as ever in the Championship. 12 games, plenty to talk about. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly, clear me. Do go and say hello in the comments and get involved. The running order down the bottom for today's show. As ever, we will go from the highest ranked teams to the lowest ranked teams. We're going to deal with every game, every team, every goal. And I would love to hear your guys' input on all of this. Some hellos there. We'll try and click all of them up. There we go. And we'll say hello to everybody and welcome along. I think we've got plenty. It looks like we've got plenty of different representation from plenty of different teams. Before we get into the action, just say a quick thank you to good old Russ, who, bless him, was at Everton watching his lot. Norwich yesterday, was a foe and now a friend, currently on loan to the Premier League for a year. Russ is our fan sponsor, sponsoring this review show whenever it drops, Sundays and Mondays. We thank Russ. He's been helping the channel for a long time. So, thank you very much, Russ. And if you're a dearly departed fan, that sponsorship will be open from next month. So if you want to get involved, you can do so over on Patreon. Let's get into this and look at our round 9 results. Starting on Friday night, it was Coventry 3, Peterborough 0. In the watch along, West Brom 2, QPR 1. Early kickoff Saturday, Reading 1, Borough 0. And then the 3 p.m.s on Saturday went a little something like this: Birmingham 0, Preston 0, Blackburn 5, Cardiff 1, Blackpool 1, Barnsley 0, Bournemouth 2, Luton 1, Bristol City 1, Fulham 1, Forest 1, Millwall 1, Sheffield United 1, Derby 0, Stoke 2, Hull 0, and Swansea 1, Huddersfield 0. Less goals than we normally get in the Championship this weekend, although plenty at Ewood Park. We'll get into that. But as ever, we will start with our highest ranking team, which is indeed our league leaders, who are Bournemouth on 21 points from 9 games. So get your thoughts in on Bournemouth 2, Luton Town 1. Let me know your thoughts on that one. And we will take a look at everything. For Bournemouth, it was Travis, Smith, Cahill, Kelly, Zamira, Billing, Lerma, Pearson, Christie, Solanke, Anthony. For Luton, Sluga, Bree, Lockyer, Burke, Naismith, Lansbury, Osho, Berry, Cornick, Adebayo, and Clark. Get your comments in on this one in the chat. We'll go to them in just a jiffy. Let's have a look at the goals. Nice finish, this one, by Phil Billing. Little clip in by Ryan Christie, who is going to get a couple of assists in this game. And Billing, he's a quality player, isn't he? And he cushions the volley in past Sluga in the Luton goal. 4 goals already from Billing in 8 games. No wonder there were Premier League links. He's been there before, hasn't he, in the summer? Good player, Billing, playing well. And here's a really good goal, this actually. Clipped in again by Christie, I think I'm right in saying. Yeah, double assist. And that's just a very good header. He's fairly tightly marked, a good climb, leaning back. He gets enough power on it. He puts it right in the corner as well. It's a good goal by Dom Solanke, who, if I quickly press a couple of buttons, I can tell you has 6 goals from those first 9 games. So very much a case of the 2 main men for Bournemouth getting the cherries in front. Clinical, 2-0 at half-time. Luton are, though, going to get one back in the second half. Reece Burke, what's he doing up there? Well, he's scoring a goal. Tapping in the cross from Luke Berry, who's in pretty decent form on the right wing there. But as seems to have been a bit of a pattern with Bournemouth, they're fairly clinical in the first half and make it hard for themselves in the second half, but they did manage to get the win here. We'll have a quick cursory glance at the numbers. And if you're a Luton fan, you're not going to like these. Look at that. We always look at the big chances. 3 big chances to 1 in Luton's favour. They will feel maybe that they've got done by a bit of quality here. Look, 10 shots to 6 in Luton's favour as well. 3 apiece on target. 7 corners to 4. It looks very much like a case of this being a tight game that Bournemouth have managed to, as I say, exploit that quality of Solanke and Billing. And they are just doing the business at the moment, Bournemouth. They're still unbeaten. Look at that, 21 points from 9. Out in front by 2 points. A very, very fine start. Well over the 2 points per game. Luton down in 16th, and you can see 4 draws and a defeat in those last 5. For the Hatters, let's have a look, see what you guys are saying in the chat on this one. Alex, bad miss for 0-0 at Luton. Could have been a different game. Lovely assist by Christie. Agree on that assist. Lovely little clip through for Billing, wasn't it? Jonathan, Bournemouth looking the real deal. Top 2 places don't look so certain anymore. Stephen, we had chances to draw or even win, but got punished not converting. And also, the flip side of that is look at the 2 Bournemouth goals. Quality for both of them. Finn is talking about that miss there. Adebayo first half. Once Bournemouth went 2-0 up, should have got the third. But once again, holding out for the win. Very honest assessment from Finn. Bo, 2 nailed on chances for Luton. Should have been a draw. A few people have said that, but Bournemouth are doing the business. Owen says Bournemouth looking the real deal. Bournemouth looking good, says Ethan. Top of the league. Okay, I'll read the first sentence. No, I'm not going to read the first sentence. Let's try and keep it nice and calm, and we'll try and keep the shouting across the stands for the stadium, shall we? John, Bournemouth showed quality where Luton did not. Bournemouth did not create many chances. Luton looked good, couldn't finish the job. So there you go. Not the worst thing in the world to hear if you're a Luton fan from the defeat there. So well played, Bournemouth. Excellent stuff from Parker. And they are top of the table. Let's move on. We talk about West Brom. We won't go chapter and verse too much on West Brom 2, QPR 1. You get your thoughts in. The reason being, because we all watched it, didn't we, on Friday night on the watch-alongs. So we'll try and do a quick précis. But if you do want infinite detail on this, there's already 2 hours of it on the channel from the watch-along on Friday night. Feel free to get your comments in. A bit of a cruel one for QPR, who looked like they were going to get something from this one, but Jess got overpowered by West Brom in the end. Please get your comments on West Brom 2. QPR 1 from Friday night. There are your teams for West Brom. Johnston, Ajayi, Bartley, Townsend, Furlong, Livermore, Mowat, Reach, Dean, Garner, Phillips and Grant. For Rangers, Dieng, Dickey, DeVries, Dunn, Barbe, Johansson, Bull, Adebayo, Chair, Willock, and Andre Gray. Comments in on this one for me, please, guys. We'll have a look at the stills for the goals first. 46 seconds, 45 seconds, we think. Andre Gray busting the offside there. Johnston caught in no man's land. Good finish by Gray. He knew the keeper was not in a desirable position and just slid it low past him into the empty net. And then, huff and puff, double substitution. In come Hugill and Robinson, and back come West Brom. And oh dear, I'd forgotten about this goal from Friday night. It's a horrible mistake by Dieng, isn't it? Grant drives the shot left-footed. He's basically saved it. And if he just does nothing, waits a second, land on the ball, but the ball kind of bounces up a little bit, and he basically volleyball shots it into his own net, Dieng. Very unfortunate. Hopefully he can forget about that one and move on. But there was a winning goal. That's a mistake by Chair, isn't it? Who we like very much. Good player, but gets caught in possession. And from then, it's really good by West Brom, actually. Nice touch around the corner by Hugo. Robinson lays it in. You can see it's a bit like one of those rugby moves where they just keep moving it along, get the overload. And yeah, as you can see, Karlan Grant just sticks it in for 2-1. Get your thoughts in on that one. Bit of a sickener for QPR fans having led for so long. Maybe the numbers tell us that West Brom did turn the screw. Look, 18 shots, 7 on target, 2 big chances to 1. But the manner of the defeat, I think, would be a bit galling for the Rangers fans. West Brom, 19 points from 9. And also, they are undefeated. Only the top 2 there, Bournemouth and West Brom, are indeed undefeated. I don't know what Baggies fans would think. They don't quite look as convincing as they did earlier in the season. But hey, maybe that's a good thing because they've got back to winning ways here. And maybe they can turn the screw, to use a phrase I used a few seconds ago, a little more in the coming 3-game week. QPR, 1 point from 4, are on a not very good run. And what I would say about QPR is when the game state is going against them of late, they're losing games. So you could say the exact opposite of West Brom in this game, where they could have lost this one, couldn't they? But they've come out on the winning side. So QPR are going to want to fix that up. Owen, surprised they didn't bring on Austin. Yeah, they went a bit late, didn't they? Brought Dykes in, but no Austin in that game. QPR forever worrying we keep linking 2 goals a game. Yeah, you don't get very far doing that, do you? Yeah, we'll ignore any suggestions to, I'm not saying you're making them, sack Warburton and drop Dieng. Dieng watching Jordan Archer in trade. Oh, bless him. Bless him. Yeah, horrible mistake by Senny Dieng. Good advert for the championship. Very much so. Very much indeed. I think we've got all the comments there for West Brom and QPR. There we go. Right. Let's move on. And we talk about Coventry, the game running parallel, or 15 minutes before, on Friday night. Get your thoughts in on Coventry 3, Peterborough 0. And Coventry have now won 5 out of 5 at the CBS Arena over there. Absolutely sensational home form from Coventry. Peterborough are the latest victims there. There's your Cov team. Moore, Hyam, McFadzean, and Clark Salter, Martson, Harmer, Allen, Kane, O'Hare, Gyökeres, the main man, and Waghorn. For the Posh, Cornell, Thompson, Edwards, Kent, Butler, Norburn, Taylor, Ward, Grant, Dembele, and Clark Harris. Not banned after all for historical tweeting. He actually gets to come and do his job. There we go. So, Coventry, where are my goals? Here is the first one scored by Gus Hamer. It's a very good clearance off the line beforehand from Waghorn's shot, I think. And Hamer follows it up. Can you just keep your head down and direct that on target? Yes, indeed, he can. These 3 goals come 57, 61, and 64. Very close together. Get comments in on this game, by the way. And there is Mr. Gyökeres, who's just scoring every single game, isn't he? Todd Kane, lovely cross there, and a nice, easy finish in the 6-yard box for Gyökeres. That's goal number 6, I believe, of his season. And goal number 7, if I've got my addition correct, coming a few minutes later. Yes, 7 goals in 9 starts. I have to give a few bits of credit out. I think there's 4 players on 7 goals already. We could get a high tide in the goal scoring golden boot race here. And when your luck's in and when your form's in, take that shot on. And Gyökeres does. He gets a lovely old deflection there, doesn't he? Looks like Frankie Kent closing down. And it just loops up over the keeper. And in the form he's in at the moment, just keep shooting, Victor Gyökeres. And they keep winning, don't they? Coventry at home, fantastic stuff. They would have been top had Karlan Grant not scored that late goal. And of course, Bournemouth won in the end, didn't they? But excellent stuff from Coventry. Took their chances, didn't they? Swept them away. In terms of the actual numbers there, 2 big chances to 1. But 16 shots to 8, 7 shots to 2, etc. Looks like they did the business. disposed of Peterborough and then saw the game out, didn't they? 3-0. Coventry, brilliant stuff. 5 wins at home. So outstanding home form, perfect home form for Coventry. And they are in third. For Peterborough, they are not very good away from home at all. And Dara McAntony tweeted as much in typically honest fashion for him. They're not in the bottom 3, but look, 20 goals conceded in the first 9 games. I'm going to be wise after the event, but we all said Peterborough would be like this. They'd be good fun, but they would be open and concede goals. So, yes. Let's have a look and see what you're saying about Coventry. Thomas, fantastic stuff from Cov. First time we put a team to the sword, really. Peterborough, second best all game. Do I dare to dream? Well, absolutely. Of course you can. Of course you can dream indeed. If that home form continues, it will be a solid reality. There you go. Jamie Allen, a revelation. You'd love to see it. Biggest shock so far could be dark horses. Yeah, are they the new dark horses after QPR here? Joe, I feel like I'm dreaming. I have no idea what's happened to this team. I'm beginning to believe. There we go. Ethan's got his hand up. Was that the game? Gyökeres, amazing. Harmer, another level to anybody else. Fulham at home on Saturday. Well, there you go. That will test that old home record. Won't it? Alex got to love Robbins. E-Fast, Cough playing. Can't believe that was Hamer's first goal. I do remember him scoring a header from outside the box last season. So maybe it's just his first of this season. Jabba, was at the game as well. Could have gone either way in the first half. Once we scored, Peterborough lost all momentum. That's a bit of a worry if you're a Peterborough fan, isn't it? That it is go behind collapse there in that game. So not good. Not good at all. Good start from Cov. Haven't played any of the big teams. Well, Fulham coming up, apparently, so that could be good. Coventry, this season's Watford, without a year 1 parachute payment as well. Yeah. Can Cov sustain it? Well, we will find out. Definitely had a great start, though, of course. Yeah, credit where it is due. Gyökeres has to be the early shout for signing of the summer. Can't argue with the numbers. Can you, Sam? 7 goals in 9 games. Few. Excellent signings so far in the Championship. Tip of the cap to Cov. Brilliant start by them. Let's talk about another team that had a brilliant start, but maybe just a little tiny drop-off in the last few games from Fulham. And they went to Bristol City, and it was Bristol City 1, Fulham 1. Please do get your comments in on this one. I'm talking about Fulham. 4 points from the last 4. Look, okay, it's a point per game, but that's survival form rather than promotion form. 2 defeats in there as well. I'm not sure they'll be throwing the baby out the bathwater yet at Fulham, but eyes will be on that if that run develops, considering they were flying away up at the top of the table. Look, for God's sake, they're only 4th, but there we go. And Bristol City, well, they've got a terrible home record, haven't they? But I'm sure they would have taken a point before this game. So decent result and a good form for Bristol City. They're up in 8th. Get your comments in on this one. Bentley in goal for Robbins. Tanner, Callas, Atkinson, De Silva. Vyman, James, Backinson, Pring. Martin and Wells. For Fulham, Gazzaniga, Adoy, Adrabio, Ream, Robinson, Chalobah, Seri, Wilson, Onoma, Reed, and Mitrovic up top. And Mitrovic is another one of those players on 7 goals with Gyökeres, Swift, and Brereton Diaz, who we're going to be talking about a lot in a minute because he really bumped his total up this week. Here's Mitro's goal. It's very good from Wilson, actually. Arrives tucking in from his wide position, heads it across. And Mitro with service like that in the 6-yard box, you're going to just... He's always going to score all day long, isn't he? And he does sticks it in the net. Here's Casey Palmer with the equaliser. Interesting one, this. I can't quite still figure out how he scored from there. I think Gazzaniga kind of goes all in on just throwing himself at it and kind of just pokes it past the side of him. It's got narrow angles. Good finish, actually, by Palmer when you consider that. And that is all she wrote in that game. Just the 2 goals from 36 shots in this game, although 5 on target apiece. Look at that Bristol City big chance count as well. 5-3 in Bristol City's favour. So maybe Fulham can be got at after all. It's stopping them scoring that's the issue. I say Fulham can be got at. They do have a pretty decent defensive record there with 8 conceded in 9 games. But yeah, slightly concerning run, I think. 4 points in 4 games. That can't be allowed to go too much longer to 5 in 5 or 6 in 6, because that's, like we say, the form we look for teams trying to get away from the bottom 3, not get into the top 2 like Fulham we expected to this season. But 17 points from 9, they're frankly 1 off 2 points per game. If they win the next game, they'll be on 2 points per game. So just a minor blip so far for Fulham. Bristol City, very good, very much better than I expected as well. And there's no real sign that they've clicked yet, Bristol City. So that will go one of 2 ways. Either there'll be a regression to the mean, or they will click, and these results will continue. So Bristol City sitting there in 8th place, very decent position for them. Liam, could have won or lost that game. We would have last season. Players playing with desire and passion. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing, Liam. I'm not. Yeah, I'm seeing the players being organised and standing up where they weren't last season, and that will take you some of the way. Obviously, in the end, they do need to click and dominate games to continue winning. But you'll take it as a Bristol City fan at the moment. Surprisingly, quite an even game despite the stats. Fulham hit the bar. James, very solid performances. Grit getting better for City. There we go. What else are we talking about? Stats say we had 5 big chances. My eye test said Fulham had the better chance. Yeah, sometimes they throw up headers from corners and things that are close in that are considered big chances. Agree the goal was offside. Martin's initial shot when Palmer was offside. Yeah, a bit of luck. Take it when it comes. Absolutely. Don't you jest. Right, moving on. Where are we going next? We are talking Stoke. Stoke 2, Hull 0. Get your comments in on this one. Decent win for Stoke. After sort of my perception was they've been a bit hapless the past couple of games. Probably should have beaten Barnsley and then came up against the siege mentality of Derby. So they've gone in and they've beaten Hull, who are struggling, aren't they? Struggling to stick the ball in the net and have not won Hull since opening day. So 8 without a win for Hull, which probably, I'm guessing, it's going to be the worst current run in the division, isn't it, in terms of games without a win? So Hull going to want to rectify that sooner rather than later. Here's your Stoke team. Davies in goal. Wilmot, Suter, Chester, Dehaney, Klukas, Sawyers, Vrancic, Timon, Brown and Powell. In goal for Hull, Ingram, Coyle, Jones, Greaves, Elder, Smith, Smallwood, Doherty, Matthew Smith, that is, Wilkes, Tyler Smith, and Lewis Potter. Potter? Sorry. We'll leave that to Jason Isaacs or whatever the name of the actor is who plays... what's the blonde kid in Harry Potter called? There you go. Malfoy. There we go. Right. Stoke, goals. The first one, Vrancic. We're in 2 things can be true mode here. Lovely feat by Vrancic to work it inside 2 defenders, actually, and then finish it off. You give him a big tick if you're a Stoke fan. If you're a Hull fan or if you're Hull staff, you're not liking that defending very much, especially the second time. I can't remember who it was. Dives in and lets Vrancic through. And you're kind of like, he's probably going down for a penalty here. We're all going to score if you do that. But, yeah, lovely feat from Vrancic. And what about this from Powell? We saw a brilliant free kick by Corley Woodrow up that end, didn't we, in the watch-along for Barnsley. And Powell, again, you're in 2 things can be true mode. You say, great free kick right up in the top corner. I bet the keeper would have fancied himself and said, look, it's a long, long way. Does he hit it? Does he really, really smash it? I don't know. You tell me. It looks great on camera, but I'm sure the goalkeeper and the goalkeeping coach are going to have a look back at that one, just given the sheer distance. Great win for Stoke, though. You love a 2-0 home win. And I suppose the only caveat is you would say a couple of worldy goals, wouldn't you? and one big chance apiece, 12 shots to 10 in Hull's favour there. So the margins seem to be some clinical play by Stoke rather than maybe a dominant win. But hey, take worldies, won't you? Stoke, yeah, back at it now. I was quite impressed by them against Barnsley, so I was a bit surprised that they then went and lost after Derby's administration was announced. But there they are, 5th spot, 17 points. And we said a few times, they look a bit different than last season, don't they? And obviously, Powell being back's good. Tyrese Campbell is back in the reserves as well, which is essentially Stoke's 2 best players now, Powell and Campbell, nearly back in the team, and they're coming from a position of being 5th. Hull is worrying, isn't it, with 8 without a win. And I believe that, only 1 goal in those 8 games. It would be the Lewis Potter goal against Sheffield United. Let's get your thoughts in on Stoke. Let's have a look here. Amet, Hull looked bright, had 0 quality in the final third. That's worrying, isn't it, when Wilkes and Lewis Potter are highly rated and very good in League One. Never felt so comfortable with the opposition attacking. Maybe it's just confidence now, isn't it? Difference between Championship and League One, or maybe that's the case. We'll find out in due course whether Amet is right. Lenny, he's got his hand up. He was in the away end, I think, by the sound of it. McCann, simply out of his depth. That's not good. 22 defeats in the last 29, 9 points from 84. Oh, yeah, that doesn't make good reading, doesn't it? Blackpool at home on Tuesday. Oh, klaxon for that one. That might have to be my game of the round on in my Football 365 column. Need Huddlestone back ASAP. Bart time Stoke won without playing particularly well. I'm glad you said that because the numbers did seem to intimate that. I don't want to jump on it having not watched 90 minutes of the game. Hull looked really poor going forward. Stoke's home record: 7 played, 1 draw, 6 wins. Wow. That's Coventry's Coventry level home record, nearly, isn't it? Annie definitely concerned about Hull. Easy to score against. Can't stick the ball in it. A very bad combination. Matt, players like Wilkes, Moncur haven't been convincing at this level. Yeah, we're waiting for them to prove themselves, aren't we? What's up with Honeyman? Well, he did come back against Sheffield United, didn't he? There is Stephen, who is our fan sponsor, isn't he? He's Lucas' dad. First half pretty dire from Stoke against the poor side, improved in the second half. 2 moments of class. There we go. Ryan looks like he's a Hull fan. Hope we get new owners. Hull will never sack McCann. We were saying that, weren't we? He is a good manager for the Alarms, and they have stuck with him. Yeah, so well played, Stoke. Bit worrying for Hull. Here we go then. Blackburn 5. Cardiff 1. Blackburn sticking a lovely 2 fingers up at me, saying, I'm not sure about Blackburn. I thought they got a bit lucky against, could have lost in the 0-0 against Barnsley. Got a bit lucky to draw at Millwall and to draw at Middlesbrough. Did they play Hull at a good time and Forest at a good time and Swansea at a good time? Well, they won 5-1. So I will shut up for the remainder of the week and give a tip of my cap to Blackburn. 5-1 and a hat-trick from Ben Brereton Diaz. Kaminsky in goal for Blackburn. Niambe, Lenihan, Ayala, Pickering, Ruffwell, Travis, Gallagher, Buckley, Brereton Diaz, and Dolan. Who needs Armstrong? I ask you, not Blackburn at the moment. For Cardiff, horrible result, and 4 defeats in 5. Eek, not good form. Phillips in goal for Cardiff, Morrison, Flint, Nelson, Bagan, Volks, Pack, NG, Colwell, Bakuna, and more up front. And yeah, absolute horror show here for the Bluebirds, but Blackburn fans will have enjoyed it, won't they? Here is the opener. And yeah, just a straight ball, pretty much from the sort of deep midfield centre-back type position, sets Gallagher away, and he just runs through and sticks it in the goal. It was Buckley who played it through, and Mick McCarthy will not be terribly impressed with how easy it was for Blackburn to get through there. This is a good goal. Dolan goes down the right wing, and he's got 2 passes on, and he certainly picks the most difficult one and does a huge arcing cross over to Ben Brereton Diaz, who hits it, as you can see, full on the volley. And he's a very confident boy. And It flies in the net. Lovely stuff. And then Diaz, Brereton Diaz, he gets a bit of a lucky bounce. He's charging down the left wing, and I think he tries to sort of play it inside. And who is that? Volks makes the interception, which then runs for Brereton Diaz, who then runs in behind. Another bounce, and he kind of barges it over the goal line. And yes, Mick McCarthy will be looking at about the possible 8 chances Cardiff had to clear that. But hey, give him some credit. Get on your bike, run at players, and you never know what can happen. Into the second half, here's Tyrese Dolan gets a goal. Nice chest and composed finish there. Somewhere in there, you'll see Sean Morrison. So another set play goal for Cardiff. Kiefer Moore jumps in front and puts everybody off, and Morrison heads it in. But here comes number 5, and it is the hat trick. I won't show you the decision because there's been so many goals. Very good penalty. Spot the ball there. In fact, by Brereton Diaz, who powerfully lays the keeper down and sticks it into the corner. Woof. 5-1. Look at that. 6 big chances to 0. Should we just stop it there and say Blackburn hammered Cardiff in this game? Get your comments in. And yes, I will keep my powder dry. I will stop saying that Blackburn are confusing me and I'm surprised they are where they are. They have earned my respect this week, and we will assume that they are a viable top 6 team until they prove us otherwise. Only 1 defeat, and they've got a goal scorer. They've got young players, and they're not losing. So fair play, Blackburn. I had you wrong. And the numbers appear to be wrong as well. But there you go. Well played, Blackburn. Cardiff, worrying. Yeah, they were looking good, scoring loads of set plays. And then 4 defeats in the last 5 into the bottom half. I wonder where that trajectory continues for Mick McCarthy and Cardiff. What else are we saying then? Come on, let's give some love to Blackburn. Was there, Rovers chat, really impressed. Did well with the aerial threat, as you have to with Cardiff. Did well going forward. Starting to dream, there you go, despite doing the same a few times and it not ending well. I'm glad you said that. I'm not being unfair on Blackburn there. Long may the points continue. Sheffield Wednesday, the last team to score against Cardiff. There you go. I'm loyal to McCarthy still. Believe me, I was very cross with him when he was at the end of his Ipswich tenure. So don't worry about my loyalty there. This Diaz guy is the signing of the season. Rovers playing well and being ruthlessly efficient. Diaz's first goal it was a great cross by Dolan as well. I will give him that. I didn't pause when I said Brereton Diaz. There you go. He deserves respect, despite the fact that he's from Stoke. There we go. Don't tip us to win. We go bad when people start talking about us. There we go. I need to come round on Blackburn this week, so you probably will get a tip. We'll have a look and see who they've got next. But hey, they confuse me, but we'll give them credit where it's due, and you've got to give credit from a 5-1 victory. Let's move on, and we're going to talk about Huddersfield, but we're going to talk about Huddersfield losing to Swansea. Get your comments in. Swans 1, Huddersfield 0. And from what I was hearing from people keeping in touch with this game in the Super Stream yesterday is that there could have been many more goals than 1 in this game. We said it's 2 teams that are fairly open, but Swans get the victory, only the 2nd of the season for Russ Martin. And the Swansea boys, Huddersfield, dropping out of that playoff picture. Although they would have, actually, I think they must have just held position looking at those goal differences. Your teams in this one. For Swans, Hamer, former Huddersfield man in goal. Cabango, Norton, Manning, Laird, Downs, Grimes, Bidwell, Patterson, Nitcham, and Joel Pirro, who very much knows where the goal is, doesn't he? For Huddersfield, Nichols, Pearson, Lees, Colwill, Toffolo, O'Brien, Hogg, Turton at right wing back, and Sorba Thomas moved forward. Interesting, Sinani and Frazier Campbell up top. Frazier. Been watching too much Cheers, haven't I? Fraser Campbell. There is an I in there, but it's in the wrong place, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at the goal. Where am I seeing it on my screen? Too many goals to look at. This looks like Swansea Stadium. There we go. Got tiny little pictures. Through goes Joel Pirro from a really lovely pass. We already flagged up the Ryan Christie one for Bournemouth. This is a great one from Jamie Patterson. Just clips it over the top and Pirro in behind. I've just got some numbers up here for Joel Pirro. This is championship numbers. Started 5, goals 5, scoring frequency, goal every 107 minutes, which is very, very good considering Swansea have been a bit pittery-pattery and made some chances, but they've hardly been laying them on a plate for him. And he's been, I suspect if someone brings his finishing numbers up, very, very decent. Their shots per game, 3.1. There you go. To be fair, it says he's missed 3 big chances there as well. But Pirro looking very good and Swansea good for the win. In this one, no shots on target for Huddersfield would be worrying. Ergo, no big chances. 2 big chances for Swans. And looks like a viable victory for Swansea and Russell Martin. Huddersfield, look, if you'd have given them 7th position after 9 games, they'd have been happy, but 3 defeats in 4. Keep your eye on that. That can turn into a bad run. Keep comments in on Swans and Huddersfield. So first win since that Bristol City one, which we did as a watch along here for Swans. They are 17th. I suppose if your glass is half full, they are undefeated in 4. And just in terms of that goals against record, if you take that mad 3-3, they've actually kept clean sheets in 3 of those 4 games as well, obviously with the mad 3-3 against Luton into the bargain, just to mug me off with my stats in good championship fashion as well. There you go. Matt agrees with me. Swansea have 4 clean sheets from 5 at home. Something to build on. Agreed. You've made that point far better than I did. There you go. Blackburn are playing Huddersfield on Tuesday. So 2 we're talking about there. James, 7th in the league, makes it seem like we're doing well, but we've been awful. Back-to-back terrible performances. That doesn't sound well from a Huddersfield point of view. What else have we got here in the chat? Purple Bungalow. Swansea, superb first half. I did hear similar things. They could have got a couple more. Huddersfield improved in second half, but shows 0 goals. Lots of stand-up players. Downs was immense. I could tell you all about Flynn Downs. Always been a good player in there. Still haven't fully clicked. We won, getting better each game. It's a slow one, isn't it? There we go. Pirro of the signing of the summer, 100%. Remember, we have rules about putting end of story 100%, but he's definitely in the conversation. But of course, allow other people to have their subjectivity whilst giving your guy a shout out there, Connor, for sure. And his goal scoring rate looking very, very good. Right, where are we going next? How many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I've done 7. So let me we're just going to run our Championship 365 ad and I'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. If you're enjoying this show, then why not check out Championship 365?
The only area to find Benjamin Bloom, the Second Tier Podcast, and myself, Ben HD, all in the same place.
We'll debate the key topics and interact with you, our community of subscribers.
And we'll be releasing 2 exclusive weekly videos.
So visit www.network.planetsport.com.
Championship 365, 3 creators, 1 community.
There you go. That's Championship 365, little collaboration put together by Football 365 between myself, the great Ben HD, and the equally great, I kind of have one great and the other, Second Tier Podcast. There you can go and check that out on the Planet Sport Network, the only place you can find all 3 of us collaborating on championship stuff rather than in our own right. Let's move on, and we are talking the Saturday lunchtime Sky TV game. It was Reading 1, Middlesbrough 0. And Reading, a little bit less like Blackburn, but still surprising me and on a very, very good run, aren't they, Reading? And no worldies to rely on this time. We've been joking about Reading that It's like last season all over again. They banging it in the top corner every game from outside the box, but not in this one. And they've got 10 points in the last 4 games, Reading. Middlesbrough fans, they're growing a little bit impatient with good old Neil Warnock as well. Get your comments in on this one. Reading 1, Borough 0. Southwood in goal for Reading. Tetek, Yidam, Laurent, Rahman, Deli Bashiru and Drinkwater. Halilovic, Swift, Ejaria, and Hoylett leading the line. For Borough, Lumley, Peltier, McNair, Fry, Boller, Crooks, Howson, Tavernier, Piero, Jones, Spora. This is quite an amusing goal, this Halilovic goal, because if he hits it cleanly into the corner, it's an absolutely brilliant goal, this one. But he kind of scuffs it, to be honest. Swift, as you can imagine, whose numbers are just off the charts good, aren't they? Cuts it back. Let me just have a look. Swift, 9 starts, 7 goals and 5 assists. John Swift has 12 goal contributions in 9 games. Brilliant. Anyway, Halilovic, you think he's going to try and shape that in the far corner, and we're all saying, great move, great goal. He must hit one foot against the other, and he just kind of bobbles in the other corner. But you take your bit of luck there. It was a nice build-up, wasn't it, for Reading? I've got to mention this because I normally try and defend referees and try and talk with balance about refereeing decisions and try and exercise empathy. But I suspect this red card will be rescinded. Referee Banks sending off Matt Crooks, and the replay did not seem to show either excessive force or endangering the opponent. I think the ball was in Southwood's hands the whole time, and Crooks, although he slid in, didn't seem to be doing it too unfairly. We'll see if that one gets overturned. I'm sure the EFL will just try and wind Neil Warnock up and not overturn it. But I did want to mention that red card right at the end of the game. In fact, Joe Lumley comes up for a corner and nearly scores after that. But maybe it didn't affect the game too much being that late. But yeah, maybe that one will be rescinded. Get your thoughts in. Reading. What key numbers to look at? 2 big chances to naught is where to look. Borough not really turning the screw, and 5 shots on target to 2, for goodness sake. You tell me. Viable win for Reading. Let's not mention possible points deductions and let Reading fans enjoy being up in 9th and 10 points in the last 4 games. You can see, given their record, they had 1 point from the first 5 games. No, they had 0 points. Did they lose the first 4? I'm adding this up. Defeats there. Anyway, look, they've scored most of their points in the last 4 games for sure. There'll be 1 win in there, I think, against Preston, if I'm remembering correctly. Ross, I fall over my stats. Anyway, Reading looking very good with a 13-point total that may be hacked at if rumours are to be believed from a profit and sustainability points deduction point of view. Middlesbrough, 3 defeats in 4, and they are 18th on 1 point per game. And as I said, Borough fans getting a bit impatient with Mr. Neil Warnock. Let's have a little look up here. Another worldie sent the keeper the wrong way. What happened, Clem? Did he either fell over as he was kicking, or he must have kicked it his right foot against his left foot, and it just changed direction, didn't it? Brilliant stuff. John, Borough have been one of the biggest disappointments this season. Expected much more from them. Reading pick up much needed points with the FFP thing. And John would know, as a Birmingham fan, it's very helpful to have some on the board. So, you know, you do come from some kind of position of strength. Should Reading take 9-point deduction now? It's probably too inconsistent to go up, but will be comfortably safe. Well, I don't think they'll get much choice about it, but it looks like it's coming, Alex, doesn't it? Crook's red card, very harsh, wasn't it? Halilovic may be lucky with the finish. I don't care. There you go. What points deduction? Amen. Reading much the better side, although Borough nearly did a Warnock and stole an undeserved point. First ever Reading team with no centre-backs and no strikers, 8 midfielders and 2 defenders. Brilliant stuff. Credit to Borough fans. Yes, 5 in the morning. We had one of them tweet me and I retweeted that. An early leave there. Swift, Halilovic, Drinkwater, Tetek. All class. Did Tetek get injured? Did I see as I was planning for the Super stream? Alistair, good solid performance, very dangerous on the break with a very fragmented team. Going to play between Ejaria, Halilovic and Swift. I mean, they're good players. Those names you list, they should be able to interchange between them, shouldn't they? Yeah. Not a red card. I think we all agree with that, don't we? Ben Borough quite disappointing. Really thought we fought. Yeah, yes, indeed. Injury list is getting bigger. That's a worry. Someone agrees with me there. There you go. Halilovic called it with both feet. It was a fun one, wasn't it? Teteka cramp, apparently. So hopefully not. Reading had some sucky injuries last season as well, didn't they, to key players at key times? Right, let's move on. We are going to talk about Sheffield United 1, Derby 0. Sheffield United, keep your eye on them. I mean, look, most people before the season said, look at that squad, the manager, the players, the possible financial advantage from the year one parachute payment. But then they had that dreadful start. But now they do look in very good nick, don't they, Sheffield United? They have 11 points in the last 5 games after 1 point in the first 4 games. Very much one of the form teams in the division. Are the Blades, Derby, of course, going for the siege mentality, as we keep talking about. Here are your teams. Blades, Ulson, Baldock, Egan, Davies, Norrington Davis, Fleck, Norwood, Gibbs White and Day, Osborne, Sharp. So look, it's settled now, hasn't it? And they're working towards building that pattern of play. For Derby, Roos, Byrne, Jagielka, Davis, Buchanan, Shinny Bird, Sibley, Morrison, Baldock. Apparently those Bulldogs are brothers, someone told me, on the same pitch. And Tom Lawrence up top. There you go, up top and captain. There you go. In terms of haves and have-nots, Sheffield United and Derby, in terms of those striking options. Here we go. And here is possibly the key moment in the game at 0-0. A rush of blood to the head, said Coldplay with their second album. Out comes Keller Roos, and it's Billy Sharp, isn't it? Of course, he is going to be able to parlay that into a little bit of contact, and then, of course, the denial of the obvious goal-scoring opportunity there. The tackle, the foul, obviously drives Sharp wide, and he would go through and score in theory, or it doesn't even need to score. It's an opportunity, not obvious goal. And the red card comes out for Roos. However, it takes a while, and they don't break them down. But I think we would all agree Curtis Davis has got his arm in an unnatural position there. Way above his head, bless him. And they defended well, apparently, up till then. Kind of hanging in there like they did in the West Brom game, Derby. But Mr. Sharp, 3 shot from 12 yards. I mean, I say that. He missed one, didn't he, against Hull, but smashes that one down the middle. And the Blades beat the Rams 1-0. I assume they were just trying to hang in there for the draw, particularly after the red card, which was only minute 57 as well, at 5 big chances to 2. Still 2 big chances for Derby. So they're not disgracing themselves. They have not disgraced themselves on the pitch at all, really, this season, have they? It's just the chaos off it that's the issue. 17 shots, Blades fans will like. 2 on target, they probably won't. But look, a win's a win, isn't it? And up they go again. And they're in right good momentum. 3-game week coming up. Obviously, we've had the first game of it now before international break. They won't want to stop, will they, Blades? If they take another 4 points from the next 2 games, they'll be at 16 from 11. And, you know, things starting to open up and look good. Derby are obviously bottom of the table by virtue that 12-point penalty has now been applied after the administrators were appointed, announced officially. So very, very worryingly for Derby, of course, they are 9 points adrift of safety with 37 games to go. We always do this, don't we? 45 to survive, and this all assumes Derby will not be deducted any more points. So Derby need to basically score 47 points on the basis of the 10-year average. Could still go down with 45. We need to score 47 from the remaining 38 37 games remaining. So already looks a tall order. But as I say, they're not disgracing themselves on the pitch, Derby. They're competitive. Bingley Blade, scruffy win, but who cares? Not you. Yes, so a lot of S-housery from the Derby fans and Billy Sharp, I think. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Obvious statement, sending off changed the game. Absolutely, it did. And look, they've got form, Nat, Derby, for going to a difficult away game and eking out a 0-0 draw, but with 10. Wasn't going to happen, was it? Don't think Sheffield United will be far away by the end of the season, says Mr. E. Derby could have got something. There you go. Yeah, it wasn't a walk over. John, Blaze looking good to be top 6 at this rate. Not sure they can make up that difference after the poor start to likes of Fulham, West Brom, Bournemouth. Derby, got a feel for them. Yeah, of course you have. Haven't you? Derby play us midweek. Rumour has it they're struggling for a keeper. Who went in goal off the bench there? Allsop. I guess he must have got hurt then in the meantime. But yeah, problems at Derby. Let's move on. We've only got a couple more to go. And I think we're going to go quickly over Birmingham versus Preston. There's always a 0-0, as I say in my predictions. Who did I have 0-0? Forest and Millwall, I think. Anyway, this one was 0-0. Get your comments in on it. Birmingham 0, Preston 0. I suppose after the Birmingham recent run, they'll take a 0-0. Preston will look at the glass being half full and saying, it looks a clean sheet, but they have drawn 4 on the trot, have Preston now. There are your teams. Get comments in on this one. Sukic in goal for Blues. Sanderson, Dean, Friend. Colin Woods, Sonic Bella, Chong, Hogan, Dini, no, Jukiewicz. For Preston, Iverson, Story, Bauer, Hughes, Earl, Ledson, Whiteman, Vandenberg, Johnson, Maguire, and Emil Rees. I've got a couple. I always try and do you a couple of screenshots from a 0-0. What are you going to do, hey? There's a big chance for Josh Earl, left wing back, nosebleed, right foot, yeah. And, oh God, Jeremy Bella puts that across the box. Scott Hogan surely going to tap it in, isn't he? No. It goes past him and they somehow get it clear. I mean, you tell me if you watch the game. I did pick out a few big... I think from what I saw, and again, I haven't watched 2 hours of this game, looked like Preston probably edged in terms of chance quality. I don't know if anyone's got an XG number for me, but hey, look, 0-0. What are you going to do? And it says 50-50 on the possession, one big chance apiece. It's all very even, isn't it? So, I mean, you tell me in the chat, are either side coming away thinking, God, we should have won that game? Who knows? Birmingham, well, first thing you can do after a couple of defeats is not lose. The next best thing is keep a clean sheet, and then can you win? So they did 2 of the things, didn't lose, and they kept the clean sheet. And Bowyer's now just got to figure out, you know, what's the formula now going forward with Deeney in there, and is he going to stick with the back 3? He's been toying with trying to get a number 10 in there. Is he a back 3 or a back 4? I don't know. Looks like he's got some figuring out to do, Bowyer. For Preston, yeah, like I say, not losing, but 4 consecutive draws now leaves them in 15th in the table. Let's go straight to John. At the game, Deeney should have buried his first time. Oh, yes. There was one across the box for Deeney, a diving header as well, weren't they? Both sides settled for the point after an hour. Absolutely disgusting game to watch. You love to see it. There you go. How did Earl not score there? Yeah, left wing back on his right foot. Not good. Can I do a couple of plugs real quick? If you're in the chat now, and I can see lots of people are, please hit like wherever you're watching, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Please hit subscribe. Have we made 19,400? It's been hovering around there for the longest time. But please hit subscribe. We are at 19,399. For God's sake. Someone hit subscribe. Get us to 19,400. And if you want to contribute financially, you can do it. It'll always be free here on YouTube. But if you want, you can contribute financially. Hit the dollar button near where you leave your comments in the live stream. Right, where are we going next? Blackpool And Blackpool are on form. 3 wins in 4 for Blackpool, and they have shot up the table somewhat, as tends to happen when you get 9 points in 4 games. Looking good, aren't they, Blackpool? There's your Blackpool team. They beat Barnsley 1-0 here with first half goal from Shane Lavery. It was Maxwell in goal, Sterling, Ekpateta, Keogh, Garbutt, Bowler, Wintle, Dougal, Anderson, John Jules and Lavery. No Jerry Yates being. It was very much Jerry Yates and Ellis Sims, wasn't it, at the end of last season? But they've retooled, and they get what I like is I'm seeing a similar system, similar players each week. And remember, when we look at teams in chaos, I see a different system and different players each week. And results are coming for Blackpool now. Going to keep it up. They're not coming for Barnsley and Marcus Shop yet, are they? And I keep making the excuse, visas for the Belgian boys and new manager and, get past the international break and then they'll develop. But results are not coming yet for Barnsley, are they? Collins in goal, Moon, Hellick, Kitching, Williams, Styles, Benson, Britton, Freesa, Woodrow, Adebayo. Again, we've made excuses for Barnsley in terms of players returning. Look, there's Kitchen back, Williams, Benson, all back in there. And it was defeat. Again, now take a bow, Keshi Anderson. Go out of your way to see this goal. It's got to be up there for goal of the week. Can you see Anderson there, number 10, has just done the most filthy back heel. And look how far he is out to play Shane Lavery in, who sticks it home right-footed. Brilliant goal by Blackpool. I'm here for the assist. Excellent stuff. And Lavery, watch back my transfer update when he signed. I was like, oh, okay, a little bit of a low-risk gamble from Northern Ireland, see if that works out. He seems to be the best striker, doesn't he? So are you going to turn around now? And we all say, good signing, great pickup. And he must have 2 or 3, 4 goals now, mustn't he? Lavery scored at Bristol City, didn't he? Scored at Millwall, scored here. He's got another. Someone will tell me. Blackpool, that was all they needed to get the win in this one. Looks like a fairly tight game numbers-wise. 60-40 on the possession is in Barnsley's favour. 13 shots apiece. 6-4 on corners and shots on target for Blackpool. 1 big chance for Blackpool, 2 for Barnsley. So I guess you say typical, a tight game where if you're Blackpool and you're in pretty decent nick, you win it. And if you're Barnsley and you're looking for a win, you lose it. That's maybe confidence overrides tight games and situations like that. So, yeah, well done, Blackpool. Really, really nice run. We said, is there a hint there when they went really close to winning that game with 10 men or getting a point at Millwall? And then since then, they've beaten Fulham, they've won away at Borough, and they've won this game. And look, without patronising Blackpool, if you're coming up from League One and you just wanted to get as far above 22nd as you can, these runs of 3 wins in 4 games can define your season. You literally, if you do that 3 times during the season, that's 27 points. That's most of your total. If you then cobble in the other sort of 20 odd points from, home games and whatever you can get away. So looking good, Blackpool. Barnsley, I keep getting asked by Barnsley fans, do I start worrying now? I don't know yet. I suppose the most worrying stat there is only 6 goals scored as well. Only Hull have scored fewer goals than Barnsley. So, yes, I'm sure there's plenty of trust in the Barnsley ownership and their ability to make good decisions because they've consistently done that. But yes, worry would be reasonable, wouldn't it? Right, what are we saying here in the chat? Here, thought this had a Paul win written all over it. Yeah, Lavery has took over. He certainly has, hasn't he? Tony, Apollonar Forum suggests most fans want the head coach sacked. Wow. This was also the chance late on at the match. Chance, probably. I've never known such negativity earlier as Barnsley. Oh dear, not good from the Barnsley fans' point of view. I mean, they're entitled to their opinion, of course, aren't they? Great few results for Blackpool. My mate keeps reminding me how I called him daft for putting money on Barnsley for the drop. Next 2 games, huge for him. Absolutely. Barnes, Blackpool looking the best of by far at the moment, aren't they, with Peterborough? Maybe that's a bit unfair on Peterborough, who just conceding tons and tons of goals, aren't they? Lavery, Blackpool's star man, doesn't he look it as well? There we go. Right, one more to go. And it was the most nailed-on draw in the history of draws. So I'm glad I went for it, although I did go for it as 0-0 rather than 1-1. But it was Steve Cooper, welcome back. And it was Nottingham Forest 1, Millwall 1. Cooper versus Rowett. Draw, we said in the preview show, and we were right. Here are your teams. Samba, Worrell, Figueiredo, McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner, Lowe, Johnson, Lolly, Graben. That looks a lot like his Swansea system, doesn't it? For Millwall, Bialkowski, Wallace, Hutchison, Ballard, Malone, Seville, Kieftenbelt, Leonard, Mahoney, Smith, Ojo. And Smith loves the City ground. And he loves that end of the City ground as well, because he scored a hat-trick up there, didn't he? And he scored again in this one. Bit blurry because the cross comes flying in from the right-hand side from Sheyi Ojo, who gets a goal contribution there, gets the assist. And Smith powers that header in for 1-0. And I think even our Forest friends in the chat will admit, and I think even Max Lowe admits by his celebration, a bit of a lucky one. Bialkowski looks fairly well positioned, but he realises slightly too late that the ball is arrowing towards the far post and it just arcs over his head into the goal. So a bit of a lucky one, but hey, Forest have been out of sorts. You give them a bit of luck, well, unless you're a Millwall fan. You don't want that goal flying in over the head of your keeper. No, I'm not really apportioning blame to Bialkowski. Just one of those freak ones, isn't it, where you think there's no chance of this. Oh, and in it goes. Numbers tell us fairly tight. Look, one big chance in the game that fell to Forest. Only 5 shots on target in the entire shouting match. And I don't know if we've got people who watched the game or are at the game. Cooper versus Rowett. I pretty much knew what sort of thing we were going to get here. Millwall, worryingly low in the table for a team that's only lost 2 games this season. But rewind to last season, you can probably just replay the same comments about Rowett and too many draws. 6 in 9 games already. Unbelievable. Forest are 3rd bottom, in some part due to Derby being deducted 12 points, I guess. But look, 4 points from the last 2 games. It's a basis to build on. And Steve Cooper has just got to get through this first 3-game week here, hasn't he? And then get going. And we think he's a good coach and he's a good developer of young players. He needs to get coaching and get developing and move Forest, hopefully for their sake, up the table. Let's have a look here. Kian, Forest weren't great. It was a slight improvement on how we've been. It'll take time to implement Cooper's style of play. Agreed. Spence and Lowe look promising. Signings we need to keep hold of. Problem is they're both low knees, aren't they? But yes. Let's have a look at your comments. I'll just read this one from Mick. He seems very happy about Blackpool. There we go, even though we're on to the next game. Gaza, a great day out in Nottingham. Oh, he's at the game. There you go. Freak goal to deny us a win. So another draw. Referee allowing us 4 subs. I've not seen that concussion rule be used, and I hope whoever suffered the concussion or the protocol is okay. 5 unbeaten in league, but no feel-good atmosphere. Yeah, interesting. Fair play for Gary Rowett for having the balls to drop Cooper. Yeah, surprising one. On me, 4 draws in a row, 6 from 9 already. 34 of 98 games drawn as Millwall manager. Goodness me. Mick, my friend, we love having you in the comments, but can we just not be using words like that, please? We try and have a bit more of a reasoned discourse than that, my friend. I'm sure Forest fan would have taken 4 in 2. Yeah, of course they would, especially given where they were in the table. Right, let's have a look at the table before we go on to our team of the round and goal of the round. So you all need to practice leaving your bias at the door, for goodness sake, for those 2 segments. So there's your table. Bournemouth top, West Brom and Cov tied on 19 points there. Fulham and Stoke on 17. And Blackburn make up the playoff teams. Second quartile is Huddersfield, Bristol City, Reading, QPR, Sheffield United, Birmingham make up the last of the top half teams there. In the bottom half now, Cardiff, Blackpool pushing up nicely, Preston, Luton, Swansea, Middlesbrough. And then the bottom six, Millwall, Barnsley, two teams we didn't expect to be in the bottom six, Peterborough, and our bottom three is Forest, Hull, and Derby, rock bottom on minus points. Right, are you ready for this? Let's do... Let's do our team of the round. And I beg of you, for there to be any point me doing these polls, please consider all the teams and don't be like one of those parents who wants their kid to get the main part in the play, despite the fact their kid sucks at acting and singing. So please, your objectivity, only vote for the team you support if you actually really think they were the team of the round. Yeah, come on. We can get past this bias nonsense, can't we? Hey, right, you could go for Coventry, who are 5 for 5 at home. You could go for West Brom and their comeback. You could go for Reading, who are 10 points in 4. You go for Blackburn, who smashed 5 past Cardiff. You could go for Blackpool, who are on a fine run of 3 wins in 4. You go for Bournemouth, who are top of the table. You could go Sheffield United, who snuck in over Derby. You could go for Stoke, who scored a couple of good goals. I have to say, my thoughts would be looking at Coventry, Blackburn, and Blackpool probably would be my favourite 3. Let me know what you think in the comment. If you put either 100%, end of story, there's no debate or stuff like that, I will not read your comment out. We are literally having a debate where everyone is allowed their subjective opinion. Hard to vote against your own team. Therein lies the problem, Tarkiso. You're not voting against your own team. You're voting for another team. You are allowed to praise another team. I promise. Right, what do we got? Blackburn, Coventry, Blackburn. There we go. Blackburn are our team of the round. What about our goal of the round? Let's have a think. And again, please do not just say one of the goals your team scored just because your team scored it. So goals of the round, I'm trying to think here. Good ones. Maybe Brereton Diaz's volley. I like the Blackpool goal for the assist by Lavery, the assist from Anderson. Billings, Cushion, actually both Bournemouth goals were decent, weren't they? What else in terms of goal? Oh, Stoke. Either of Stoke's goals you could have a look at. And the Pirro goal for Swansea with a little clip over the top. Some lovely goals. And as the boys from Not the Top 20 say in their Sunday tweet, bonus points for voting for an opposition goal here. Let's have a look. What we saying? Powell. I'm not reading out sarcastic ones, not doing it. Vrancic, Billing. We're even. Someone cast the deciding vote here. Come on. One more comment on goal of the round. Right, there you go. Vrancic is getting it. Vrancic, even though I'm not happy with that last tackle, I've got to go with the chat here. Mario Vrancic is your goal of the round. Slips and slides inside a couple of players. Right, there we go. Thank you ever so much. We won't do any Q&A because I'm boiling in here. Guys, it's a 3-game week. So there will be a lot happening on the channel. We will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. That was very Brereton Diaz, wasn't it? 7 p.m. for our prediction show. Then we'll be doing Championship 365. You can go and check that out. It is behind a paywall. But if you want to support myself, Ben HD, and Second Tier, you can. We'll be talking a bit about the Football 365 articles. I'll be spending all of tomorrow writing at 1 p.m. And then we'll be live for, I think we're doing Borough Sheffield United. And then we're going to do Fulham Swansea on Wednesday night. Then we'll be seeing Nappers on Thursday for Dearly Departed League 1 edition. I may be making an appearance on another channel on Thursday. We're just trying to confirm that. the Championship Round 10 review will be on Thursday, and then we'll be previewing Round 11 on Friday, and we're watching Stoke and West Brom. I think we're doing Behind Enemy Lines with Hodgie the Hack as well on Friday. So all go. Woof. Thank you very, very much. If you want to shout out, I'll bung them up in the chat. I can see some already from Leeds, from Bo, from Bingley Braid, from Tony, from Ben. Love the flamingo shirt. There we go. Very Peter. Who's Peter Manley? You'll have to DM me about that, Ben. I don't know who that is. There we go. A mixed confident. He's always confident about Blackpool on Tuesday. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the Fulham Swans game as well. Thanks, Annie. Thank you, Nature Ends Gartner, if I'm saying that correctly. Thank you, Purple Bungalow. And yes, he says thank you to everybody. And that is very much the case. If it wasn't for the chat, I would be making a lot of guesses about how games went. And now, isn't this fantastic? Now the stadiums are open. Most of the games, someone pops their hand up and says, I was there. Can I tell you what happened? And we will all listen. So really, really pleased with that. AJ, there we go. Up the Villa. One at Old Trafford. Tremendous stuff. Where I may or may not be on Saturday. More on that. I'm going to get in trouble for going to a Premier League game. What are you going to do? You're going to say thank you and good night. It's a big over and out from me. Hit subscribe if you haven't before leaving. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.